This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But
folks?
if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 116.
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm Brian.
I am congested because
Worst air in the world. Right here.
because
Wasatch
the
Front.
air is so disgusting, and it's not. Fortunately, we don't have anyone to blame on it except for the Jewish space lasers that started the fire in Oregon and California.
I think it's safe to say climate change is playing a role.
Well, you know what the thing is, though, is that people will say, well, climate change didn't start this fire. Some guy with a gun did. Well, yes.
Sure.
But climate change made it so dry and hot that it exploded.
So not only is a redneck directly responsible,
most
the redneck
likely
is indirectly responsible.
right.
We're north of Salt Lake City, but we're in the same valley. And just yesterday, basically this whole week,
It was Friday was the worst. Have you seen the time lapse?
It's awful.
It rolls in like a
Yeah.
thunderstorm.
it's the worst,
Disgusting.
the worst air in the world, worse than Beijing.
We're like fourth now
But on that day, weren't we?
for a little bit,
minute.
but then Dubai and Beijing caught up.
Okay. Yeah, because there's fires burning in California. They have the second biggest fire in history burning right now.
Yep.
Oregon has their largest fire in history burning right now. And those all blow into the Salt Lake Valley.
Which they normally blow in. That's not unusual to get smoky skies, but I guess the cold front.
Right.
There was a cold front, and the cold air sinks, and it pushed it all down
It acts like an inversion.
into the valley.
Right.
And that's why it was so bad on Friday that I left work early because it was seeping into the office.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Like I had some lights set up to take pictures, and when you go to a concert and you can kind of
got
see
like a fog effect?
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. No one believed me till I was like, look at my lights.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my gosh.
You need to take a laser with you.
Yeah.
And that's your cue to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's black boogers is what I call it. It's a black booger day.
That's true.
So
You know when I get the best boogers?
Huh.
After I mowed the lawn.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
man, they're just big.
They're perfect. Find us at the Arctic Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, most importantly TikTok. We don't post to the other ones very often. Or go to thearcticpodcast.com. It's August the 9th, I believe.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
It is.
On this day in history, an atomic bomb is dropped on the Japanese city of Nagasaki,
When did that happen?
1945.
Oh, so I thought it was like last year or something.
This ended World War II. It was 3 days after we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. 21 kiloton atomic bomb nicknamed Fat Boy. About 40 to 80,000 people were estimated killed during this American-led attack. Towards the end of the Second World War, a few days later on August 15th, Japan surrendered.
I watched an interesting YouTube documentary video sort of thing. I don't know. It seems like BBC and them have been like putting full-on 15-minute documentaries on Facebook. I can't remember who put this one on, but it was about the Manhattan Project, and how top secret it was.
Yeah.
How they wanted to test it on the East Coast, and after a lengthy search, they decided to do Nevada because
The desert. Because there weren't people.
Yeah.
That's
No, but here's what. So they were talking about how it's so secret, how the governor of Nevada didn't even know about it, and
that's messed up.
the only people that found out was Kodak Film.
Really?
Yeah, because
They had cameras.
no,
Oh.
because the radioactive fallout particles took the jet stream to where their plant was in like Ohio,
No.
and it got in the water supply that they used to. I think they put how they logging
Yeah.
put the trees in
Yeah.
the water, and those trees they used to make the paper that they put in between the X-ray. What would you call those? The
Like,
slides, I guess.
sure.
And the radioactivity was exposing them,
So the X-rays.
and so you would open up your package of X-rays, and you'd open it, and they'd all be exposed.
They'd be exposed.
And so,
How did they trace that though?
well,
Couldn't the government just be
no,
like,
no,
"We don't know."
one of the, I think it was the CEO of Kodak or someone high up at Kodak had worked on the Manhattan Project,
Ah,
and he was
yeah.
like, "I know what's happening here," and they cut a deal.
yeah.
They
bet.
cut a deal so that the American people wouldn't know about all this fallout.
Yeah.
And it was actually horrible. There's a lot of cancer and stuff that from the tests.
in the jet stream.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's they showed a map like all the places in the U.S. where there was higher cancer rates after.
I think it's still happening.
I'm
isn't
sure. Well, well, yeah. Well,
Like I swear the government's still paying out. on
probably,
class actions.
probably. But yeah, that was interesting. It was interesting.
That is interesting.
And then eventually they had to like pay off all the other film companies too, because they
Yeah,
all
'cause they
started
were gonna- yeah.
figuring it out.
Dude, remember maybe like 90 episodes ago, the bats. Remember the bats?
The bat
was-
bombs.
The bat bomb. It was a World War II project alongside the Manhattan Project that it was either Roosevelt or Truman had to choose between either bats who were trained to fly into an enemy's
Suicide bats.
air base and blow up. They had bombs strapped to them, or the atomic bomb. It was a real decision. Like he was, I don't know how long he deliberated, or if he had his staff in the office at the time. But
man.
yeah. Anyway,
I bet there's a big, huge documentary about that. There really needs to be
the bats
about the bats.
for sure. There needs to be a documentary about the bats.
There's a new documentary on Showtime, and it's a legit one by J.J. Abrams about UFOs.
About UFOs. Does he leave a twist?
I don't know. There's there's like 6 episodes, and the first one was last night.
Does he do lens flares?
J.J. Abrams doesn't do twists. He does do lens flares, though.
Right.
That was Star Trek.
Well,
mainly.
JJ kind of did twist. I mean, he directed Alias, and that was kind of full
Oh,
of twists all
never
the time.
watched
Speaking
Alias.
of twist, I went and saw the new Shyamalan movie. It was called Old.
Oh.
Old.
He's still making. They still let somebody pays him to make movies still.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It was actually.
Wait, you went to go see it? You
yeah.
went to a theater?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. We got someone to watch the new Baby.
Huh.
And went to a movie. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I mean, it's a Shyamalan, right?
Well, I
they're kind of
mean-
raw, and like the cinematography's always got its kind of its own feel.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. Are you going to see it?
No.
Okay, so spoilers. If you're going to see Old, stop listening now for a few minutes. So, because in an M. Night movie, once you know the twists, the show's not interesting anymore.
Right.
Ethan might hate me. His favorite movie ever is The Village.
The Village probably isn't a great movie, but I liked it enough.
That's good.
And
But once you know
the
the
first
twist,
time I watched it, it was pretty. Those monsters, they kind of
Yeah.
freaked me out a
Yeah.
little. They kind of gave me a
no, it was a rough twist, man. Like when it
signs,
happened,
signs. My sister is still,
still
yeah,
messed up.
yeah. She's terrified. Anytime I talk about aliens or anything, she's like, no. I saw signs. No.
So these people go to a resort, and the resort offers them this private beach area, and within this beach area are special rocks that they don't tell the people about. But in this beach, you age like at a lifetime, like 80 years per 24 hours.
Right.
And that's the plot of the movie. And at one point, one of the kids is like 6 years old, 7 years old at the start of the movie.
Uh-huh.
And then like in the afternoon, he and this other girl go off, and he gets her pregnant. And while they're walking
nice.
back on the beach, her belly is growing.
Ew. Freaking M. Night. What a weirdo.
I know. But it's a pretty obvious twist. That was the only criticism I had.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, they gave it away too much. You knew that they were being watched, so it was an experiment.
Well,
And what it was a company was testing drugs.
of course.
So like they had a woman who was epileptic,
Mhm.
and they gave her a drug without her knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And because this beach can simulate a lifetime, they can see if the drug works or not.
Jeez.
So it's this ethical dilemma.
I'll say.
you know.
Well, it only got 50% in RT, so
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really follow that.
But you know what? When you can tell when a movie's really bad, when not only is the tomato meter low, but the audience score is low,
Yeah, the audience score is the only one I really.
and it's also rotten.
I didn't think it was bad, but as I've said many times before, I am not really a big critic of movies.
M. Night, it's been 2019, when we could travel and stuff
Yeah.
before the plague. I went to Adobe Max, and M. Night Shyamalan was one of the keynotes. He actually seemed like a pretty, normal guy for.
Yeah. He has like a 3-4 minute cameo.
Yeah. Oh, he always does.
Yeah, he always does.
does that in his movies.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, speaking of this plague, man, it's breaking through the vaccine now.
It is? I thought they told us that it wasn't today.
No, well, I don't know what they told us, but my brother runs restaurants, and his staff is vaccinated, and one of his staff just tested positive and is very ill.
Oh,
and
really?
He got Pfizer.
Oh.
We are not a media show nor a news program, so I'm not trying to spread fear. But yeah,
Luis
was just
got
telling
it. He just came back from Washington. He's vaccinated.
He's vaccinated and got COVID.
Yeah, he just got it.
What vaccine did he get?
I can't remember.
Man, I got Pfizer back in March, and I'm like, if it's breaking
Yeah, everyone
through,
thought Pfizer was the best. Moderna for life.
dude, got it. You got to knock on some wood. And apparently it's not the Delta variant that broke through.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I've started wearing mask again in public.
Ugh, no way. Not until they make me.
They're not going to make you. It's Utah.
I know. Well, they used to. I don't know. I thought
you know
that the
did you-
numbers were still. There was something on KSL about how there was some positivity. Hold on.
The numbers are awful.
You're-
Utah's like the fourth worst state.
You're getting me too
It's like it's
down.
Literally.
Shut the fuck up.
You know who we're worse than, or better than?
Saudi Arabia.
We're better than Louisiana.
Oh, well, that's
Yay,
good.
Go us.
Let's see. Utah reports 2,000 weekend cases. This is way too long to read. Just give me the talking points. Anyway, something's happening. It's good. It's positive news.
It's not positive news. It's picking up here. That's my point.
But
it's picking
I
up.
thought, as far as I know, it's still mostly the unvaccinated people who are dying.
Yes, that's true.
Like almost all of them.
The
In
downside.
fact, I thought it was like 99% or something.
It is, but the downside to that point is that people under 12 can't get vaccinated.
Yeah,
And they are getting sick.
but it's coming in a few months.
We don't have a few months.
Well, it'll be okay. They're not dying.
I think you forgot.
Yet.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
Not
are.
as bad as they were.
Kids are getting
Or-
it now. They didn't get the first variant very
Yeah,
much. They're
yeah.
getting Delta. It's not
Well, just
good.
lie. Just take your your newborn in there and be like, she's 12. He's 12. He's 12.
No,
Clearly,
yeah,
he's got Benjamin Button disease.
exactly.
He's 89.
I swear he just can't talk right now. But if he could, he would tell you. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good. It's not good. And Spencer Cox is a spineless piece of shit, so he won't do anything
What?
about it.
What did he didn't do anything?
Exactly. He's not doing anything.
Well,
Look at any
yeah.
other city that's not a stupid conservative conspiracy theorist city, and they get 4 cases and they wear masks and they shut down.
Well,
In Utah, the legislature passed a law saying that school boards cannot mandate masks for
I
children.
think that's the legislature's fault because they're stupid.
Well, who signs that into law, Spencer?
Cox?
Yes.
Did you know that? Did you see the letter somebody wrote to him?
The governor has to sign laws.
But
It's not just the
did you
legislature.
see the letter
No, I didn't see
that
the
someone sent to him? That there's speculation that it's a joke, but there's also speculation that everyone is stupid now, so it could be real. But they're asking him to change his last name because it's offensive.
letter. It's real.
Probably.
It's got to be real. I mean, I would bet he's got several of those.
Probably.
But no, he
I wish
signed
my
that law.
last name was Cox.
And he's like, well, we can call a special session of the legislature to rewrite that law. No, why did you sign the thing in the first place, you stupid ass? Like, why would you
Because
give...
things were looking better.
No, listen.
Weren't they? I don't know.
Even if things are looking better, why would you give the legislature power over the school board?
Well, you know, one thing
what's-
conservatives really believe in. Small government.
Why do we have school boards and superintendents and principals if you're not going to allow them to do their job? I have a
Small
daughter.
government.
I have a
Hey,
daughter starting kindergarten.
Take our freedoms. No. Government. Small government.
Quinn is starting kindergarten this fall.
Well,
What would you do?
she looks like a 12-year-old.
What would you do if you were me? Like schools can't in Utah. They cannot mandate masks. They can, but they'll do so. DeSantis in Florida. Have you heard what he's doing?
He's an idiot. He is.
So they passed a similar law, and so they're not funding schools who break this rule. He's cutting their funding.
That dude's a criminal, man.
Yeah, he's gonna burn in hell.
Ron DeSantis and his lackeys down there.
Same with Greg Abbott in Texas.
Actually, I almost hate Greg Abbott as much as I hate Ted Cruz now.
Yeah,
I know it's hard to say that, but
that is.
if I would maybe push over his wheelchair. I don't know.
This isn't gonna get any better. Like we're not just like, oh, it's a little bump again. No. The unvaccinated. I think if you're not vaccinated any longer, you should sign something that's tantamount to a do not resuscitate.
Well,
Meaning, I chose not to get vaccinated. Therefore, if I get COVID, I cannot get a ventilator if it's needed by someone else.
no, that's the good thing with the Delta variant is that they're not having problems at hospitals because people are dying much quicker.
That's probably true.
No,
However,
it is. It is true. Somewhat. There was a doctor I was listening to, and he said that exact phrase. The good news is,
So both hospitals near to us, the
Uh-huh.
KD Hospital and Ogden Regional Hospital, both shut down elective surgeries.
oh really?
They don't have the space. They don't have the ventilators. So if you choose not to get vaccinated and you get sick, I think it's only fair to say you don't get a ventilator.
Did you hear that about the Utah County lady?
No.
Let's see, where's that at?
But what do you think of this idea?
No, I think it'd be great. I do.
Yeah.
But she prayed and made the decision that God would prevent them from getting the virus for her and her family, even though her kids had got it. And her 42-year-old husband now has it, and he's been in the hospital for like 2 weeks.
So he's gone.
Apparently he may survive, but according to his doctors, he should have died during
But
one of the surgeries.
He's using
And
a
now
ventilator.
now she's changing her tune. She's like, I should have listened. I should have just done it.
Yeah.
And there's a Family Guy episode, perhaps you'll recall, where one of Stewie's friends gets cancer. And the family.
We're back.
I don't know that
So,
we're still recording. Hold on.
Okay. I was going to say, just start with the Family Guy episode. There was a Family Guy episode.
Logic is.
I'm
freak.
not taking this out of YouTube. So if you just happen to witness that, Spencer accidentally turned off the mixer with his foot.
I don't know.
Twinkle toes over there.
Well, it's not where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Input 2, input 13.
It messed up the whole thing.
No, it's fine. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
That's been like my new phrase lately.
Lately.
No, I just say it for absolutely
know.
anything. Like,
Freaking Bill
like
O'Reilly.
it was on Big Mouth. Have you ever watched Big Mouth?
Mm-mm.
It was on Big Mouth the other day, and he. Never mind. It's stupid. I'm gonna cut that out.
So
There was a Family Guy episode where one of Stewie's friends gets cancer, and the parents of the kid are, I don't know, some kind of Christians that don't.
Oh,
believe-
Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah.
Nah, well, they didn't say that
Oh.
specifically, but
Don't
probably.
believe in blood transfusions. and
Yeah,
stuff.
they didn't believe in medicine. They only believed in the medicine of prayer.
Okay.
And Lois steals the baby from
Mhm.
the house
Yeah.
and takes him to the hospital, and then gets into this argument with the parents, and they're like, God is gonna save him, and she's like, maybe this medicine is the way God's going to
Right.
save him.
Right.
What did she say? She said, what's the point of praying if you wipe your ass with the answer that God gives you?
Well, we've all heard that story. What's the guy like in a flood on his roof?
Yeah.
Rescuers come, and he said, "No, God will save me."
Right.
That happens like 3 times.
Right.
And he drowns and asks God, "Why didn't you save me?" He said, "I sent you rescuers 3 times." Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
good analogy.
I guess people are just get a little too literal about it or something, but
No, so I mean, maybe people aren't able to think this out, okay? But
I would venture to guess that is the case.
just hear me out for a second, okay? If you've not been vaccinated and you think that if you get it, you're entitled to a bed or a ventilator, imagine that you are vaccinated and you are at work and you fall off a ladder
Right.
and you're hurt. Not hurt to the point like emergency surgery hurt, but you're hurt, okay? You go to the doctor and they say you need back surgery to get rid of the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Now those surgeries are shut down because the COVID numbers are spiking
Right.
and the unvaccinated are taking up beds and ventilators. So now this person who hurt their back can't get the surgery they need because of that.
Right.
That's as simple as I can explain it to you. When I say they've shut down elective surgeries, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are unvaccinated and take up a bed and a ventilator, fuck you. Like that's what you're saying to this guy, right? This guy who did everything else right just got hurt at work, now can't get surgery for 2 months.
Well,
'Cause the beds are
these
full.
people are already pretty selfish, so I think that asking them to think critically
I don't know if they're necessarily selfish. I think I don't know how to categorize them, because I think there are some that maybe live in a place where it's not as big a concern, even though now those places are skyrocketing. Louisiana, South Dakota, right? Although South Dakota, I think it's because of Sturgis. I think it's happening right now. But then I think there are people there's the conspiracy people.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are just for some reason genuinely afraid because of all the talk about it, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how you can still be afraid when you've seen like 4 billion doses have been given.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this much. The doses are so small. Just go get it. Go get it, or you carry on your person a letter that says, "I don't want a ventilator because I'm an asshole."
Oh, I found the article
About
breakthrough cases.
Mm.
Right now, it's still really low here. It's 0.0013% of deaths are people that are vaccinated.
Are
and
breakthrough
catch it.
cases.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that is a silver lining
There's been
of sorts.
There's been 5,500 breakthrough cases and
But
19 deaths associated with them, I guess.
in Utah.
In Utah.
So 19 people who were vaccinated have died
Yeah.
in a state of 3 million people.
That's not great.
No, it's not good.
Although there were like 20 people who died in car accidents this weekend.
Right.
So I don't know.
How many were wearing
I guess
seatbelts?
I'm pretty cavalier about it because I am vaccinated and I'm not stupid. And
Well, maybe you can stick with the car accident analogy. How many were wearing seatbelts?
well, I don't know.
How many were speeding?
It's my God-given right to not wear
Right.
seatbelts.
How many of them were drunk or buzzed or high?
Right.
How many of them were asleep? Like there are you can't anyway.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I smell what you're cooking.
Yeah.
I do.
Hey, the Saturn V. We didn't talk about this yet.
Yeah.
Did you have something else? Before I show the people?
No. Show them that. Oh, you broke the. You're gonna lose the. Oh my God. It's like Columbia all over again.
We just lost the crew. Oh no.
Is that the right direction?
I don't know. I think
It's
maybe-
not. It is not the right direction.
There we go.
There's some breakage there. All
By the
right.
way, if you can see this on the camera, let me go down here. This is where the crew was. This was the escape. You can't hear me.
Not very well.
This is where the crew was
right.
in this little triangle. This is the escape tower for an abort.
Mm-hmm.
Once they got even close to space, this whole part jettisoned off.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty cool when they used it. They never had to, but when they tested it, it's pretty cool.
You know what's crazy? So is that whole thing in frame right now?
No, man. It's,
Okay. All right.
It's way too big.
That's fine.
Like,
But
here.
so Yeah,
There
it's
we go.
huge, right?
Yeah.
So that little white piece that you pointed to, the crew capsule,
Yeah, right there.
out of that whole massive motherfucking rocket, that is the only thing that came back to Earth.
Yeah.
And it didn't
Yeah,
get
like-
reused because it was pretty much junk after.
This stage right here, the first stage, that is the 5,
Mm-hmm.
this did fall back to Earth. And
But
I
it
think-
wasn't reused.
I don't think it was reused, but I do think they retrieved it from the ocean.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's the first stage that got them into space. The second stage here, I don't know what that was. This they used
That's
to,
how you break a heat shield and disintegrate your ship.
This was used for translunar injection, and then when they jettisoned this, it just floated off in space.
Wait.
Actually, this may have come back. and burned it.
Translunar injection? You mean just
So
setting their course?
yeah, first stage gets you into orbit, into space.
Right.
Second stage gets you out of orbit.
Oh, okay.
It takes a lot of juice to get away from Earth's gravity.
At what point did they attach the limb?
During translunar injection. So I mean after.
Okay.
So after they're on their way to the moon, this is the third stage.
Don't they have to change their trajectory again then?
No, so what happens is, if I should take this apart, these little guys would jettison off these 2 wall pieces.
Right.
This is gone now.
It is.
Don't just forget about this black piece. This is where the crew is. Pretend like
Mhm.
this isn't there.
It should have jettisoned.
It should have yeah. So this is the third stage. This is where the crew is. They turn around and pull the lem out like that.
Now, here's a question I've always wondered was there no possible way for them to put the lem on top or in such a way that
That they didn't
they
have
didn't
to
have to
around.
turn around?
I'm sure they thought about it, but the problem is you have
I guess the rocket in the back, huh?
right. So if they were to use this engine
Mm-hmm.
while the lem is underneath it, then the lem's gone. If the lem's engine back here gets used, then they're gone, right?
Maybe they could have put a. Oh yeah, okay.
So then they'd
All
use
right, all
they'd
right.
use this engine here to slow down to get into the moon's orbit.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'd use it again to slow down even more. Then this would go down and land on the moon. This
Right.
little guy.
Right.
And then just this top piece
Would come back.
would come back. And the landing pad, gear, whatever.
Man, what a.
So the ascent stage would come back, rejoin here. And if for some reason they couldn't rejoin, the astronauts had to get out in their spacesuits.
Did that ever happen?
No, never happened,
Oh,
but that
okay.
was the contingency.
What?
This would take them back to Earth, and then, like you said, all that comes back is that white cone.
Right.
The heat shield
and
is underneath.
during
here.
Apollo 13, they had both the LEM and the crew capsule, and they spent most of their time in the LEM, didn't they?
Well, they switched back and forth. It got really cold in both. But what happened in Apollo 13 is this part right here, called the
Right.
command service module,
Right.
exploded on the side.
Right.
So they didn't want to use this engine because they didn't know if it would work.
Right.
So they actually used the LEM engine.
Wow. So weak.
So here's the thing people don't know. They only used the LEM engine to correct course
Right.
because they were on what's called a free return trajectory.
Right.
If you go to the moon and you don't use this engine to slow down, you will slingshot around the moon. So then this is used for is to like correct course. But yeah, it was like Jim Lovell said, it's like flying with an elephant on your back because this little engine is controlling this whole thing. But they had to keep this attached for oxygen, water,
Right.
electricity. But yeah, it got really cold because they had to turn everything down.
Right.
Anyway, man, I'm a nerd. I
No,
appreciate
no,
the gift.
No, I'm gonna have to get my own now. I want to play with it.
It's really fun to
I'm
play
gonna
with.
do my own rocket launches.
Yeah.
You know what? There's lighting kits for it.
I
Did I
know.
tell you that?
and wall mounts.
Oh yeah.
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 So yeah, it's really cool. The stages come apart and
We
everything.
need to get you the launcher, the pad. Oh, that reminds me. I want to show you.
I did see the umbilical.
Uh-huh.
It's not made by Lego, but someone made one.
Oh,
that-
I'm sure we could build it.
Yeah.
We just need to get all the red pieces. I wanted to show you this. I forgot. But you know the airplanes that I showed you that kid makes. I think he's a kid. I'm guessing he's like 17
the
or
Lego.
something. Yeah.
kit? Yeah.
I want to show you his
Because this was what's it called?
Huh?
What's it called when someone makes
Lego
these-
ideas.
Lego. So a non-Lego person who doesn't work for Lego, I should say,
Right.
made this by themselves first, sent it into Lego.
It was according to the instructions. Did you see the instructions?
Well,
It has,
the
like-
instructions it came with. Like
Well,
mine?
it has like bios of the people that made it.
Oh, that's
it was
cool.
like it was like a team of them or something. Where is this guy's? Anyway, so this kid also has built a Saturn V rocket, and it is slightly bigger because it is to. Here, I'm sending you the link now.
Okay.
It is to minifigure scale. So if you look at yours, they give you mini minifigures,
Yes.
right?
They're tiny.
The tiny ones there.
Are those not to scale?
Don't know that they are.
Okay.
That's to scale with what you have, but he built them to scale with the actual Lego minifigures.
Okay, so here's the Lego. I'll put this on TikTok. Here's the Lego minifigure. Here's the bottom of the Saturn V rocket, the first stage. These are 12 feet across, so it's actually pretty freaking close. 12 feet.
Right. So I mean,
funny.
you've seen a regular Lego person, right?
Yeah.
They're So this is built to that scale.
Okay.
Go. I sent you the link there. It's this is the guy that I've been kind of following some of his techniques to make my own plane,
Okay.
which I'm kind of stuck on right now.
Let's see if I can get you some sound.
Oh.
Saturn V moon rocket.
So he used 30,000 pieces,
30,000. This had 1,969.
and it's 10 feet tall.
Oh, man, that's even cooler. Does it come apart and everything?
I don't know.
Still,
You'd
he's
have
got
to-
the umbilical
to
there.
scroll
Yeah.
through. There's a better video with him standing
So
next
it's
to
to
it. You
scale
can
of the
see-
normal Lego size.
right.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But yeah, it's big. It's real big.
That's freaking cool. Yeah. Well, and the
Holding the Saturn V firmly to the ground is the base. The
Oh,
base
cool.
is
Okay,
laden
he's made
with
a base.
ground
See how
equipment
big it
and
is.
Other small
Oh, this
details
is a
that
long
are
video.
used before liftoff.
Oh, he always does
The
super long
ground crew
videos,
is
but
busy moving around equipment
anyway.
and preparing
Ground
the
crew.
rocket pad for
But yeah,
launch.
it's he did a good job, man. That
That's
kid's
cool.
smart. I wish I was that smart when I was.
So the Saturn
Wonder-
V, I believe, was 303 feet tall.
Sure.
I think 303 or
Yeah,
it's
so-
either that or 330.
I watched a TikTok about the Elon's new Starship.
Starship with the heavy booster.
Yeah, and it is the biggest rocket ever built,
Yeah,
but it is also the lightest rocket ever built,
yeah, and it can carry.
and the most cost-effective
Yeah.
rocket ever
And
built.
surprisingly, the Saturn V could carry a larger payload.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was surprised about. It's like 100.
Wait, are you sure?
It's like 100,000 kilograms.
That doesn't make any sense
I know.
because the whole thing's like the ship is huge.
I know. So in terms of mass, so the Saturn V could carry like 110,000 kilograms, and the Falcon Heavy with the booster can carry 100,000 kilograms.
Right.
It's all like it's all speculation
I
anyway.
can't remember.
But
So
they don't have, instead of 5 rockets, the freaking Heavy booster has like
yeah, it's got a lot.
32.
Did you see the
engines.
the recapture system
No.
for the booster? It like comes back down and these arms come out and grab it.
That remember when they kept failing? Not with the booster, but with Falcon.
Oh yeah.
Or with what's it called? What's it called? The ship.
I don't. I thought it was Falcon.
Falcon? No, the
They always have to name every different thing,
no,
right?
Yeah, the one that kept failing all the time.
Yeah, I can't remember.
That was Elon's idea. He put it on Twitter and TikTok and was like, "Will this work?" And it had arms come out to grab it.
Oh,
So that must be how they're capturing the booster.
yeah, I guess that's what
Yeah.
what I watched said at least. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they've tested that or not.
Did you see also? I don't know how much of this is hand in hand. Obviously, SpaceX does work with NASA somewhat closely. Did you see NASA's having a year-long experiment in Texas?
Yeah, for Mars.
Yeah, to live in a 3D printed environment.
Yeah.
So you can volunteer to live there for a year.
I wouldn't want to do that. I don't think I would do that.
I wouldn't do it as a volunteer.
I would do it. Yeah, no, I would need to get paid for that.
yeah.
Do you know anything about this lawsuit that Jeff Bezos put against NASA
I just know that he's pissed that they don't want to use his rocket for the
for the
lunar.
moon?
Yeah.
and
because
they just
SpaceX
were
already
like,
won it,
and
right?
they were and he's like, this isn't fair. I'm Jeff Bezos, and I just want to be like, dude, SpaceX has gone to the space station.
Right.
They are clearly light years ahead of you because you can barely escape the atmosphere. Like,
Right.
if you got out of your little ship, you'd probably just free fall and be okay.
Even dude, even Boeing is closer to working with NASA than.
Well, Boeing's done all sorts of.
They haven't sent men up yet, but they have sent
Yeah, I
to
know,
the space
they
station.
have a pretty cool setup.
Yeah.
But it's like space tourism versus actual.
Right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I
Yeah.
just want to teabag Jeff Bezos so bad. I just hate him. I really do. I mean, that doesn't stop me from buying Amazon because I like Amazon,
No, I mean it's convenient.
but he's just such a dumb freaking bastard.
Well,
And he's ugly, and his ex-wife's so much cooler than him, and
yeah.
anyway.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he can. I don't know what he can do.
Yeah, well.
I don't know what he.
Oh,
can
he
do.
lost the lawsuit. They got
Right.
tossed out
Yeah.
completely because it was,
You're- yeah.
I'm sure NASA was just like,
You're suing a government
hey,
agency.
go f yourself, Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos. You make how much?
Yeah.
We're the U.S. government.
Or start your own
We
NASA.
could probably just take all your money, and
Well, yeah, we can take all
people wouldn't really even be that bummed out about it.
No, we can take all your money, all your patents.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Speaking of going and fucking yourself,
The Olympics.
that is what I was transitioning to. It really didn't make sense, but
I got it,
yeah. Oh, good.
but
good.
that's probably why we do the show.
Good. Yeah.
So,
Did you? So, in the past, I normally watch some of the Olympics.
Sure.
I prefer summer over winter because I kind of feel like Winter Olympics is just for absolute super rich people that.
Did you hear about the dude who won the speed skating medal and then won a medal playing baseball? So he's won a medal.
did hear about
in
that.
both. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, how much does it cost to go, skiing?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's
I see what you're saying.
to be good at running, you just,
It's true. I mean,
I don't know. I'm sure a lot of these athletes are still
But I mean,
well
there's
off
like
but I mean,
curling.
yeah, well,
hockey,
Well, there's also table tennis and
badminton.
and some other
Speed
weird
walking.
freaking stuff that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't watch it at all. Not even the.
You didn't watch any?
No,
Oh.
I.
They had a badass drone show.
Oh, I'm Japan.
Yeah.
It's Japan. I don't know why, because I when I went to Japan last year, I saw everything.
Yeah, I
they
thought
were all
you'd be
set up for it.
excited.
I thought I would be too, but I don't know if it was just Rona or the no fan situation
Honestly,
or what it was.
The no fans thing, at least for the televised portion, I don't know what it was like in person. It wasn't really that big a deal. It still seemed just as exciting because really all you hear is the announcers. Sometimes you hear the crowd.
Plus, I didn't like any of the basketball players. I kind of was rooting for Australia or France to win.
Dude, Gobert was heartbroken.
I'm sure.
Did you
they
see
got
he got the
silver
All-Star
though?
And he made like they have their All-Star team on the Olympics
Uh-huh.
is only 5 players, and they
Oh.
picked Rudy because he dominated.
Well, they got silver.
Got within 5
That's
points.
that's better than the Jazz did this year.
That's true. Touche.
I mean, and what's his name got bronze? Why is he slipping my mind? I love the guy. Australia.
Oh, Joe Ingles.
Joe Ingles.
Yeah.
He got bronze. So, the Jazz did pretty well in the Olympics.
Except we didn't have anybody playing on the American team.
Yeah.
Right?
I like Australia.
It's pretty cool. Also, there was I just lost my train of thought completely. We were talking about basketball. Yeah, whatever.
Well, one thing that did bother me was making the Olympics all about Simone Biles.
Yeah.
Not just her, but the whole Olympics was just Simone this, Simone that. I'm like, there are other people there.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to know all about her. She's just one athlete.
It's just networks, right?
I guess.
Gymnastics is what sells. That's what gets the most ads.
Well, I did get my first, but you know what? Never mind.
To the men's, the Iron Cross.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
It's what sells. And then, of course, when she has to pull out,
Well, when you pull out, normally.
Yeah, it ruins things.
So, what are your thoughts about her pulling out of all her competitions?
Well, she got bronze on the beam.
Yeah.
Still. I don't know much about.
I guess specifically pulling out of the team competition.
I think it was probably a very tough decision, but probably I think it was a gracious thing to do.
You do?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I think I don't know much about the twisties.
Yeah.
Right? But I know a little bit about how the brain works.
Mm-hmm.
And if your head is in the way of muscle memory,
Right.
you're not going to do it.
Well, yeah. I mean,
drums, guitar, it's the same thing.
No, I mean,
if you start thinking too much about how you can mess up, and then in gymnastics at times 10, because then you're thinking I could get really hurt. Right?
I mean, yes. I don't know. I had a weird reaction to it. My first reaction was like, all the mean people who were like, "What the man? You're just not even gonna try."
Well, it's not,
and part of me still is kind of like.
That might be a basic misunderstanding of how team gymnastics works.
No, well, someone replaced her.
Right.
There was
someone
someone else.
3 gymnasts in each event. It doesn't matter who.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just I don't know. I was I'm trying to think of an example here, but if I don't know, if we were in a band and we had to play a show and other people were counting on me to play the show, and all of a sudden I was like, I don't feel it. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it was a matter of just not feeling it. She was legitimately scared to hurt herself.
Or a better example. Have you heard of this basketball player named Ben Simmons?
Yeah. Yes. I've
And
heard
how
of
he
Ben Simmons.
totally effed over the 76ers this year by not shooting free throws?
No, I don't remember this story.
Oh.
I mean, I know who he is, and he's not a
Okay.
very good free throw shooter.
No. What did he do? So he had, was it? Man, I gotta pull up the story. Basically, yeah, he didn't get fouled, so he wouldn't have to take free throw shots and embarrass himself.
How do you stop yourself from getting
I can't
fouled?
remember exactly what happened, but he's not coming back to that team as a result.
No way, really?
Did you not hear what his coach said after?
No.
Oh my
His
gosh.
coach is Doc Rivers, right?
Yeah. He was asked point blank, does Ben Simmons have what it takes to be a NBA Finals contender? And most coaches would be like, yeah, I love Ben Simmons.
Yeah, he had a bad night or something.
And he was like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, if Doc's saying it, it's true. That guy doesn't beat around the bush.
Let's see. Ben Simmons.
While you're looking that up,
Yeah.
I do feel legitimately bad for Novak Djokovic. He was in tennis, there's the calendar year Grand Slam, which is winning all 4 Grand Slams in a calendar year. No one's done it since was it? I don't even know if it was Sampras. It's hard. It's hard to win all 4 in one single year, right? Like the Australian Open, the French Open, the U.S. Open, and Wimbledon. To win all 4 in the same year is very, very hard. There are people who have won all 4 over their career, Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic. But then every 4 years, the top tennis player has a chance to get the Golden Slam, which is to win all 4 Grand Slams and get a gold medal.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's what he was going for, because he won the Australian Open, the French Open, and Wimbledon. So what he needs to do is get a gold medal and then win the U.S. Open, and you have the Golden Slam, which is just crazy. He lost in the semifinals.
Oh.
And Novak, for some reason, he's never been very popular with the fans. I don't know why, because it's not like he's a dick. I think he's he's a nice guy. No one really compares to Federer in terms of grace, but I don't have a problem with Novak, you know.
Right.
But I felt bad for him. I'm like, man, the Golden Slam. Can you imagine?
Well, yeah.
Like, I don't know if anybody's ever done it. Like, getting the calendar slam is hard enough. So, anyway.
I'd like to get a slam.
A grand
right
slam.
now.
Give me the French toast.
Oh, there's Doc Rivers.
Grand slam. What did he say?
Hold on, it's not. Why is the audio not playing? Oh,
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now.
You think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
That's rough.
yeah.
That is rough, man. Imagine walking back to the locker room after that press conference.
Oh yeah, I forgot his teammates threw him under the bus too. Joel Embiid.
Man, so I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, hold on.
I thought the turning point was, when. Man, I'll be honest. I thought the turning point was, when we.
Come on.
I don't know how to say it, but I thought the turning point was just, we had an open shot, and we made one free throw, and we missed the other, and then they came down and scored, and we didn't get a good possession on the other.
That's a man who is like debating whether he wants to throw Ben Simmons under the bus.
He's like, this guy's
my
like, friend.
I don't know how to say this, but
I'm really pissed that we just lost. Just don't know where to say it. What do you think about? How do you feel about interviewing athletes after they lose?
I think interviewing athletes after the game. Actually, I think it's stupid all around. Like they never have anything intelligent to say. Like.
It's true, but when they win, at least you can enjoy the moment with them, right?
But only when they win like a big game.
Sure. But interviewing athletes who just lost.
It's stupid. It's all dumb.
Or making them sit in front of a table for a press conference.
Why do you think you lost? We lost, man. Didn't we talk about this on the way home from the game? We had some funny things. I don't remember any of it, though.
Dude, we recorded a whole show.
I know. I forgot about that.
We should append it to this show.
Oh, wow. We should.
We recorded a cell phone show.
A pre-game drive where we talked about dinosaurs or something. I can't remember.
Anyway, I don't think they should interview the person who loses. That's just not, or the team. It's just not a good frame of mind when you're like, what happened? We lost, man.
I know. It's like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
I also hate the whole interviewing the coaches between half times. Like, what's your plan, coach? Like, he's going to tell them anything,
right?
Substantial other than, we got to keep our heads in the game, take one step at a time, take one game at a time, vapid, random, normal coach talk,
Have you
blah,
ever
blah,
watched, blah. You could probably find a mix of Greg Popovich, the Spurs coach.
Yeah.
He's actually the U.S. team coach as well.
Yep.
He never does those, and he's renowned for the in-between quarter, like on TNT or whatever channel they do that on. They'll be like, what went well in the first quarter? He's like, offense. What do you need to do better? Defense. All right, thanks, Pop. Yep, see you later.
That's they might as well just say that because that's it's the simple way.
He knows what he's doing, but the
don't
NBA requires it,
know.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're that's people don't realize that.
No, I know. There was a whole thing with that tennis
Naomi.
player. Yeah. Anyway, so Simone, whatever, it's fine. I just thought to me it just seemed weird to just dump out of the Olympics.
Well, I mean, yes, to us, right?
Right.
But we're not there.
No, you're right.
Like I said, I think if people really looked into what gymnasts go through in terms of the twisties, I think once you get them, I think it's probably a lot of training to retrain your body to trust itself.
Right.
If you start thinking,
don't think.
You can't think. You're in the air doing 2 somersaults and 2 twists. You can't. You don't have time. It's not like it's a diver who can just hit water.
Do you find a lot of Olympic athletes attractive? Because I don't
Track.
know. Sometimes, yeah.
Track and field.
Sometimes they're like emaciated.
Well, not the distance. Like, it's so rude. No, okay. How about we just stay on the nice note? Yes, I find some.
All right.
I find some Olympic athletes attractive.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
Right, you're not choosy.
No, not
Yeah.
at all. Not at all.
But speaking of Simone and mental health,
Yeah.
it's bringing a lot of attention to it.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate that as someone who not only studies psychology but struggles with mental health.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm, mhm.
before the show, I had you take. You said that you weren't sure that your pills were working.
Yeah, I've been feeling down a lot lately, and not just I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people have depression, or a lot of people have been depressed.
Yeah.
And there is a difference between being bummed out or depressed and having a depression,
Like a major depressive
where
disorder.
it's actually just like you kind of just tear up all the time. You're just, I just don't want to do anything. And I kind of noticed this the other day that I have one of the telltale signs of depression is losing interest in things you normally like to do.
Right.
And I for the past 5 or 6 years, I have been on my computer constantly designing stuff, learning new things. Like, it is a constant.
Yeah.
And lately, I have just been watching TV or playing video games, and I have not had any desire to do anything.
Right.
I'm struggling at work to come up with new creative ideas. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm in a rut.
You're in a funk.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of times when you're depressed, you don't realize it until.
It's usually the people you're closest
Or
to.
or one day it's been so long, and you're just like, oh, duh.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
I know what's happening. So yeah, I mean, that's my. I was on my way over here. I was like, I need to Google and see if medications can just stop working.
Well,
And yeah.
You can certainly down-regulate receptors.
Because I'm like on the highest
but they
dosage.
They may all be serotonin related.
Oh,
but they all work a little bit differently on serotonin, right?
Yeah.
But mine, I don't feel are working right now either. And I was feeling same thing.
Maybe it's just because the world really sucks right now.
Well, sure, it plays a role. I've been feeling rather depressed, and usually you can take what's called the PHQ-9. It's 9 questions. Kind of gives you gives you a score. That is what doctors normally use just to quickly see where you are, and they maintain it throughout your file. Right.
Right. Yeah, I've done that one.
So I learned about this Beck Depression Inventory.
Is this Beck the singer?
Yes. No. Yes, he's a renowned psychologist.
I don't know. Maybe
it's a different Beck, but he came up with this depression inventory that just kind of. It's more questions. It's how many questions is it? 21 questions on a scale of 0 to 3. Questions like, I'm not particularly discouraged about the future, all the way to I feel the future is hopeless. What's another one? I don't feel disappointed in myself. I hate myself. So that's the spectrum, right?
Right.
So I was sitting at home the other night feeling kind of depressed. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I happened upon this, and I forgot that I'd learned about it.
Right.
So the first thing I did is I text Ethan because he's my doctor, and I said, "Hey, do you remember?"
I went to him too.
And he got a psych degree with me first. His undergrad was psych, and so I'm like, "Do you remember the Beck Depression Inventory?" And he's like, "I remember it, but I haven't used it. I can't remember exactly what it is." Anyway, so I took it, okay, and it has a scoring legend at the bottom to show you where you are. And before I tell you my score, I immediately went like, oh, shit. Okay? And so I had Ashley take it. I sent it to my mom and dad. I was like, I just need to know where other people score on this to know if this is accurate in any way, shape, or form. Right?
Okay.
So it's out of 40 points. If you score over 40, more than 40, it's extreme depression. 31 to 40 is
the max
severe.
you can score is 60.
60?
And I think it says in here that you've already killed yourself. If it's
yeah, call 911 is what it says.
You should be institutionalized.
So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 levels from these ups and downs are considered normal all the way to extreme depression. 31 to 40 is severe depression. 21 to 30 moderate depression. I also sent it to a buddy at work who has struggled with depression. He's actually on the same cocktail as me for drugs. I take Prozac and Wellbutrin. Not working.
Wellbutrin?
Yeah. Makes me sweat. So I started. I talked to Ethan. I'm weaning my way off of that one Wellbutrin.
Sweat.
Sweat so bad, and once it starts, it doesn't stop. It's crazy.
I do. I wonder if mine does that because I do sweat really easily. I
Yeah.
just assumed it was because I was fat.
Well, it's probably both for both of us. Anyway, I scored a 37 on this thing.
Okay.
And it scared me. However, at the same time, it made me, what you said earlier, it makes you go, oh, this isn't normal, which gives you a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, oh, so most people aren't there. And sure enough, I give it to my folks and Ashley, and they're scoring 8 and 9.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
oh,
okay.
Man, f them.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, yeah, something's up then. So, yeah, I got to talk to Ethan and maybe change up my...
Yeah, I scored a 30. And
so you're right on the edge.
Yeah, so I'm right on, one more point and I would have been in severe depression. I'm just moderate, though. Some of these questions, though, are kind of...
And to be fair, there is a version 2 that are a little... Not all the questions have changed. They're all the same, but just worded a little bit differently.
Like, some of them, like, feeling guilty, that's never been a symptom of depression that I've had. So
no, but it is a symptom for a lot of people.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a 0 for me.
Like, my depression for me doesn't affect my sleep.
No,
like
I think that my fat does, so I kind of wasn't sure on that one either. So I just
I always have.
I probably could have scored less because
Yeah.
I don't sleep as well as I used. Well, yeah, I don't know.
I'm always able to fall asleep fine, and I always stay asleep fine. There have been times when I've woke up anxious to the point of throwing up.
Really?
Very, very, very rare. Like once or twice a year.
My appetite. So it's posed as if you're losing weight.
Right.
So
which might be one of the ones they changed on the second version.
Because I put my appetite is much worse now.
Right.
When in reality I probably should have done a 0 on that one instead of the 2. I don't know because I can't stop eating. I think I might have an eating disorder.
But the word appetite is important.
Right.
Because I eat too much and drink too much soda.
Right.
But I don't necessarily have an appetite.
That's true.
Nothing ever sounds good.
I'm never really hungry.
Yeah, nothing ever sounds good to me.
It's true.
Right. Anyway. So I was talking to my dad about this because he was a therapist. I asked him the same thing. Have you heard of Beck's depression inventory? Did you ever use it in your practice? And he's like, I actually didn't really like to use those. If someone was depressed, I could usually just tell. And if they took them, sometimes it made them feel worse. Right? Because what if you felt really depressed and you took this and scored low? You'd be like, well, then what the fuck is wrong? Right? Or if you are really depressed and you score high and you continue to score high every time you take it, you're like, well, then there's no hope. You already feel hopeless because you're depressed. Now there's no hope because I keep scoring high. Nothing works.
Right.
Right. For me personally, depression and anxiety start to feel status quo to me. They start to feel normal to me. And so when I take these and I see my score and see that they're not normal, then I feel a little bit better. You know, I'm like, okay, well, then there is hope. That just means I need to probably get back into therapy, maybe switch up my cocktail with my doctor a little bit, you know, because I haven't been on these two very long. I used to be on Trintellix and tried to change it.
Making up these names for these drugs.
I've been on almost every SSRI.
Really?
The only one I've never tried is Paxil, but I'm pretty sure that one makes you gain weight pretty quick.
Oh, I need the one that makes you lose weight.
There aren't any. You have to have ADD.
I need to get back on Adderall.
Yeah, you need Adderall to do that.
I used to take Adderall, but so
I've been on Lexapro, Trintellix, Zoloft, Celexa.
Have you ever taken Adderall?
No, I don't have ADD. If I took an Adderall, I'd be up for 3 days.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is I thought I had ADD for sure. So I was on Adderall for years, and it's great.
Did you sleep okay?
No.
No.
Well, I'd have to space it out right to make sure. If I took it any later than like.
Did they have the extended release when you were doing it?
Yeah, but it's way more expensive.
Is it?
Like
Yeah.
way more.
Yeah.
And then what it's supposed to do if you have ADHD is, it's supposed to put you over this cliff, right, where you can't be as hyper. Right.
And it's supposed to help you focus on one thing.
Right.
Right.
Well, what I realized is that I couldn't focus on one thing when I was on it. Like, I would start doing something, and then I'd be like, oh, man, I want to do this. And the next thing you know, the whole day would be, and I'd started like 6 projects.
So it made you more ADD.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was great. And
because that's how people describe ADD, right?
Yeah.
They're like, in their mind, they're like, I need to clean the kitchen.
Right.
And when they start cleaning the kitchen, they see envelopes on the counter, and they're like, I need to pay bills.
But one thing it did do is it made me get up and do stuff.
Sure.
Instead of now where it's hard for me to even go do things I want to do, like come over here or jam.
Right.
I don't ever want to do anything.
Yeah. And you can certainly have that's the shitty part about emotional well-being is that you can be depressed and have ADD. And so then you're kind of in this conundrum.
It's true.
Of I'm depressed because of my ADD, so, or if you're anxious and have ADD, then you're taking an anti-anxiety drug on top of a stimulant, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find the right cocktail.
That's how my weekends are right now, is I get depressed because I don't have anything to do, but then I don't really want to do anything because I'm depressed.
Yeah.
So it's just a cycle. And next thing you know, it's Monday morning, and you're like...
The point being to all of this, the thing that started this before we started recording, the point being is if you are depressed and you're not on medication or not seeking therapy, you can do that and make the change. If you're depressed and you're on drugs that aren't working, talk to your doctor, right? Go to therapy.
Ethan's on vacation.
You can text him. That's what I did. I said, hey, I want to wean off Wellbutrin.
He seems to get bothered when I ask him medical questions while I'm not in the office.
I know. I just tell him to bill my insurance.
I don't know if we're on that friend level as you are.
Well, no. I just take advantage of it. Because I'm like, well, whatever. He's a friend. I've been there for him. He's there for me.
All right.
If it's something that's not pressing, then, I'll just leave a message or send him an email. But, like this one, I was like, hey, I want to go off Wellbutrin. What's the best way to taper off? He's like, I'll just switch to half the dose for a couple weeks, see if that does anything, then you can just stop. So, because if you stop antidepressants, you're fucked.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So, no, if they're not working, change. Don't just suffer in silence.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going
Yeah.
to figure something out.
And it's not just a message for you. I just generally
exercise.
'Cause chances are, out of the 10 people who listen to the show, one of them might be depressed. So
it's probably way more than that. I mean, you'd have to be pretty depressed to listen to this show.
So that's true. So out of the 10 people listening to this show, 9 of them are probably depressed.
At least.
Because it's this show.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you've gone through all the podcasts you actually like, and you're like,
what's one that can waste 2.5 hours?
It's Thursday night, or Thursday, during work, and I just want to go home, and I just need to be entertained for an hour.
I'm all out of Cops DVDs. Live PD's not on anymore.
Well, speaking of child sex.
Oh, my Lord.
Have you heard about Apple's new privacy thing?
Besides the app not track thing? Or that? Like
What?
the ask app not to track?
No.
No, I haven't.
So they are rolling out a new software that is going to search iPhones for photos of child sexual abuse.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess, according to them, there's like a 1 in a trillion chance that it will pick the wrong picture. And I guess they're like established pictures or something. I don't know.
I would imagine that if they catch one, then they have a human go look at it.
I would assume.
Nevertheless.
So.
Isn't this like a Fourth Amendment thing?
So right away, I'm like, well, I don't know how I feel about this, but I don't want to say I'm against this because I don't want people to be like, oh, he's got kid porn on his phone.
No, I know what you mean, because on one hand you're like, well, yeah, man, go catch those fuckers.
Yeah, but you're like, well, don't look at my phone.
On the other hand, don't look at my phone,
I mean, I don't have anything to hide, but
I take comparative pictures.
But it's like I don't know if you've ever had this before, but back when I worked at Smith's, there was a corporate guy that would come in. He was internal affairs or internal, I don't know what you want to call it. But when he showed up, you knew someone was getting probably fired.
Sure.
Or
like an asset protection.
Yeah. And even though I had nothing to be worried about, I was still like, what if I do need something?
You got to put a lock on my locker.
And I'm like, I don't don't want to just get out. Get out. And so it's kind of the same way I feel about this. Is I just don't. It feels. I don't know. It feels a little too.
So is this rolled out?
No, there's been a lot of pushback.
I was gonna say because obviously they would have to send out new terms and conditions. To people saying because it's not the government. That's the thing about the Constitution is the Constitution is to restrict the government, not restrict anybody else.
But I think it's so weird that it's Apple doing this because they have been so hardcore about privacy.
But on the other end,
they've been the one that turns down the police when the phones could have solved a murder or something.
But on the other end, they're like it's child sex or child.
I know
trafficking.
I'm. That's where I'm at. I'm like,
if you were Tim Cook, that's a tough call, right?
Right.
If you're the CEO of Apple,
we have the technology to do this, but people aren't gonna like it. I mean, I don't know.
Because I do wonder. I'm not a lawyer. I do wonder about the Fourth Amendment in terms of what happens when Apple sends those images to the police. Right. Now the police are in possession of something you have without a warrant.
Right.
I
don't know how that. I don't know how that all works.
Yeah.
You want to know what Edward Snowden said?
No, what he said.
He tweeted, "No matter how well intentioned, Apple is rolling out mass surveillance to the entire world with this. Make no mistake, if they can scan for kiddie porn, they can scan for anything."
Of course.
And that's
we're all aware of
that's
the
kind of like, it just feels like now if this was the government that was doing it, I'd be like, no.
Well, first of all,
no.
Would you be surprised at all to learn that the government is doing it?
I guess not.
No. And I'm pretty sure that internet service providers already are.
Oh no.
I knew of a guy in Kaysville who got caught sending images on Skype, and he was a bishop, and so he got arrested and charged. But I think it was Comcast who turned him in.
Oh.
Like the ISP can see when that stuff's going down.
That's why people use the VPNs in the dark web.
I guess.
I don't know how to use those.
I don't really understand the whole exchanging of pictures. Like, hey, check these ones out.
I don't understand. Yeah. There's plenty of stuff on the internet to.
I know, but like you're sending, like you're getting off on sending them to someone. It's weird.
Oh,
right. It's weird.
That is weird.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. You could frame somebody. There could be a whole. I don't. You see, there's. I don't know. So there has been a big. There's a big pushback on this. And I think there was something that came out today that said that Apple might be reconsidering it.
I mean, I've heard a lot lately about Pegasus. Have you heard about Pegasus?
No.
Software that an Israeli company made to hack into phones and do everything. Look at passwords, look at keyboard input, turn on your camera, turn on your microphone.
Right.
All of that. Now they claim that Pegasus cannot be done with a +1 country code, which is the United States, which is just like, why the hell would that matter at all? But it's now coming out that governments bought this software to spy on their competition, right? Their political opposition. So
I hate politics.
We'll see if Pegasus makes its way to the United States in any way.
At some point we need to have a discussion about how we can live without politics. How we could form a society where we don't have politicians, because they seriously just they just suck, right?
But then we'd have to, someone has to make the decision. So we have to we have to choose someone.
So okay. So no, listen to this.
That's Family Guy.
So yeah, no, you're right. After they abolished government.
Yeah.
Speaking of Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane he has a show called The Orville, which is kind of like because Paramount, he wanted to do a Star Trek show, and Paramount was like, no, go fuck yourself. So he's like, well, I'm gonna just do one and not call it Star Trek, and it's basically what it is.
Animated?
No, it's real life. There's only 2 seasons. There's supposed to be a third, but
funny or dramatic?
So it's as close to the original, but like Star Trek: The Next Generation as you can get, except he makes it more like it would be in real life. Like when he comes on board and is interviewing his new crew, one of the guys is like, "Hey, our last captain let us have drinks on the bridge. Is that going to be okay?" Or or like he messes up a name, or he forgets to hang up the phone when he's talking to the admiral. Just like stuff that would happen in real life. But on one episode, they go to a planet that's kind of very similar to Earth, and they're going down just to study and blend in, because they're not they have the prime directive, same sort of thing.
Sure.
And these people, instead of a government, they have up and down votes. They wear badges.
Okay.
And so if someone makes you mad or wrongs you or does something stupid, then you can vote them down. And the whole thing is the guy, one of the crew members, he gets up and starts dancing with one of their statues of one of their, heroic people, and he almost gets reprogrammed, which is when they like basically give you a lobotomy. If you get so many downvotes, you have to get like 300 million downvotes or something. And
that could work.
On the well, no, it doesn't. I mean, it does, but it's also terrible because something as innocent, what he did wasn't really
sure,
but the media took it and blew it up,
right.
And as a result, he got all these downvotes, and that happened to like
Bill Clinton.
The reason they went to the planet was to see about the two scientists that were there. They lost contact with them.
They got reprogrammed.
And one of them got reprogrammed because he didn't get up for someone on the train, pregnant lady on the train.
Okay.
He wasn't paying attention. And she had to stand while he was sitting.
Yeah.
And he got so many downvotes, he got reprogrammed. So on the surface, you're like, man, yeah, that could be, that could be cool. Just everyone's vote counts for everything, Like if Donald Trump says something stupid, we can all downvote him and lobotomize him.
Yeah. What if you still had judges?
Well, they did sort of in
so
the
you
show.
Get a certain amount of downvotes, then you go before
they
a judge.
They had what they called an apology tour, where you would go on all the media and basically plead your case and try to make yourself look like a better person.
Yeah, and then people could upvote or downvote based on your interview.
Right.
Huh.
I know, right? But then someone would hack it and
yeah. I mean, we kind of already have that, like on YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah, you're right.
Like and dislike.
You're right, and that's what it's based. That's obviously what he was going for. What if likes and dislikes were our government, essentially?
Right.
And the concept, I mean, on the surface, it's like it's great, right? Because that way, everyone's voice counts for something, And if someone wants to build a new road and tear up a bunch of houses, then people can say yes or no, and
here's something that doesn't get talked about a lot is the fundamental flaw in democracy is that sometimes the majority is wrong. Right? So a system that is purely up and down votes democratically it wouldn't really work.
I mean, that's Seth MacFarlane made it, painted it as it didn't work, and it's not a great system, but
I mean, that's not to say that government always is. It's not what I'm saying at all.
No, it's always wrong.
Look at Proposition 8, for example, in California.
Yeah.
Twice, Californians voted to legalize gay marriage democratically, and twice the California Supreme Court reversed the vote.
Right.
So in the court's view, the people got it wrong. Democracy didn't matter. It was against the California Constitution, right?
Right.
So sometimes the crowd is fickle,
that
right?
Sometimes the Constitution isn't right. It's very, I don't know, man. Just go to another planet.
Yeah.
You know what is a crazy thought I was thinking the other day? because you know how sometimes I think about space travel and warp drive and everything. I was like, well, first of all, all of my thoughts go back to cartoons.
Okay.
But there's an episode of South Park where the kids find out that Earth is actually a reality show for the rest of the universe, and the producers put species from every other planet on Earth.
Okay.
So kangaroos have their own planet, black people, white people, they all have their own planet. And I was like, I wonder if that would happen if we invented warp drive and that became super accessible.
Well,
if people would just start leaving Earth, and there would be a black planet and a Asian planet,
well, we already do
Japanese
that.
planet, right?
We already
what
do that.
Do with countries?
We do that with neighborhoods.
That's true.
Right?
It's true.
We already do that in any type of way you can categorize people, by religion, by race, socioeconomic status, culture, whatever. Anything you can think of, we already categorize.
It's true.
Right? We have Chinatowns. We have Little Italies. We have poor neighborhoods. We have rich neighborhoods. Right?
Right.
We already do it. So yes, it would definitely happen.
The big question is who gets stuck with Earth.
Well,
I think it should be the white people.
To combine theories
they
here.
Get stuck with it since they fucked it all up.
To combine theories, my guess is that the people controlling the simulation are friends with other people controlling their simulation.
Oh, I'm sure.
And when they look over at their monitor and see a creature they created, they're like, hey, man, can I borrow that code? And that is like a gorilla.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. It's true.
You know, or someone, it's like, oh, man, what is that? I call it a dog. Can I borrow that code?
I watched an Explained about dogs.
It's Sim, right?
No, they're crazy. Dogs are cool, man. They can sense a lot of things.
Don't you think that theory makes more sense, though?
Oh, yeah.
It's a simulation, and there's a bunch of sim controllers, whatever they may be, and they steal from each other.
Look, it's not a simulation. God created us. Okay, he used his computer, and he built Earth, and he put us on here, and he controls everything on it.
Right. No matter how you view it, aside from atheism, it's a simulation.
Right.
Right. Well, if you're a true believing sim, like if you're a true believing sim person, like you believe this is a simulation
How much money
through and
is
through.
in religion? You want to start one?
Yeah. Do you believe in any sort of? It's not like the sim creator is your deity, then, right?
No, I don't think that you would have a deity. I think that's.
If you were like, yes, for sure, this is a simulation. I know it is. I don't need to worship the guy who created it or the thing that created it.
Well, it could come to that, though.
The creator could demand.
I mean, what's the difference between begging God for something and begging the creator?
I lost my fucking keys.
Yeah.
Please help me find my
John. John, the creator of the simulation.
Yeah.
Where are they?
He has a setting.
Why have you forsaken me?
He's got a setting on his device that if someone complains enough, it dings. And he's like, "What does he want?" Like a guy can't find his keys.
Swipe left.
I'll give him his keys. He is gonna lose his job if he's late again today.
Oh man. Yeah.
Leisure texting. What you got there?
Oh well. So we're all millennials. We're getting old. Our whole generation is.
Yeah.
We've most of us have had texting since we were
17.
Yeah, I got my first phone when I was 16, I think.
I was 16 or 17. I had a pager before that.
That's cool. But most of millennials have had texting at least their adult life.
Sure.
And I've noticed a trend, at least with my friends, where, because you remember when you were 18 or 19 or 20 or 21, when you were texting someone, you back and forth, you know?
Yeah.
Even when you were driving.
Right.
Which it seems like millennials have been able to kind of get away from that.
Right. Well, we got used to T9, so you could do it.
You
could do it without looking. You could do it in your pocket.
It's true.
Right.
It's terrible. But I've just noticed lately with almost all of my friends that replying to messages is not a it's like almost like a day. It's like it might as well be an email.
That's true. I will, the only people that I reply to quickly are Ashley and you. And even sometimes you,
Define
I'm like...
quickly.
Well, even sometimes with you, I'm like, that doesn't require an answer right now.
No, but
I
did notice that I have my friend in Canada that I talk about. I do that to her all the time, and she's been doing it to me. And she used to always respond right away.
Right.
And I don't know if it's just we're busier, we're tired of texting.
Sure.
But we all have Apple Watches.
It's true.
You
just
there's
see
no
it. Like,
there's no way you can say I didn't see it.
Right.
You can, but it's total horse crap.
I turned off the notification, the flag on my phone, so I don't understand.
Yeah. I was in airplane mode.
Yeah.
On accident. But you were still connected to Wi-Fi, right? No.
Everything was
you were on your laptop, weren't you? Well, I mean.
No. I was just looking at porn.
Yeah. No one looks at porn on their laptop. Anyway, so yeah, I just wonder if that's like a new millennial trend, or if it's going down to Gen Z, which apparently are like 21 now.
I've had multiple people give me shit about this, and I say that I'm like, whatever it is that you sent me did not require a response.
Hold on.
That's why the tap backs are convenient on an iPhone.
Right.
Because you can just like, But there are a lot of times when it's just like it's an information text.
So in order for me to get a response, I need to say something like, hey, do you want to jam next Wednesday? Also, can you come put my house fire out right now?
No, because usually when you ask me a question like that, I respond. Sometimes not in our group threads.
I had to reach out separately.
You reach out separately, but I'm waiting for the rest of the group to respond,
Mm-hmm.
No, I know that I'm not good at it. And I'm saying the two people that I'm best with it because, yes, we're friends, but I view our relationship more as like a business.
Oh.
Like
that was cold, man.
No, like we're business partners, right? We do a lot of things together.
That's true.
That are more projects than,
That's true. I know I bug you a lot to
do
stuff. Just like, hey,
why are you doing this?
When are you going to give me that TPS report? I asked for it 3 days ago. We can't turn in the project.
I feel like you brought this up in the rundown just to make me feel shitty about not responding to that one text.
No. You were a part of this, but I noticed everyone else was doing it.
Right.
Brent, I text him. It took him a day to get back. Luis,
right.
It normally takes like 3 days for him to get back.
Right.
My friend in Canada has been taking a day or more to get back.
How do you do? If you were looking at yourself.
So I'm typically it depends. And I try to
It depends on if it warrants a response.
Or if I know what to say. Yeah.
Right.
But no, there are it's been getting worse for me too.
Sure.
And I noticed that that's a thing, whereas it used to be like pull the car over, I need to text somebody right now, which I did do.
Of course.
To text a radio station a couple weeks ago. I was listening to KSL on the way home.
Yeah. Why? First of all,
that was just the afternoon news. I like KSL.
Oh.
It's not that bad. Jeff Kaplan, man, from New York. He's cool. And he failed to use a news pun. Because he'd done a story about bats. He'd done a story about baseballs, and he said we did a story about bats, we did a story about baseball, and here's Ricky Neese with traffic. And I was like, no! Jeff Kaplan! Why the hell didn't you say, we talked about bats, we talked about baseball, now here's Ricky Neese for traffic for your drive home. Home plate.
Home plate.
He had a 3-way, so I scolded him, and three of them responded to me. Ricky Neese responded to me, Jeff Kaplan responded to me, and I can't remember her name. They all responded and were like, he was very apologetic.
If you miss a window.
In fact, he actually responded to me he said that he dropped the ball.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good That's a good recovery.
I know. That's
Say
what
he dropped the ball.
yeah.
That's good. He fumbled. That would be another one you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Or did he say he struck out? Anyway, he came back with a news pun, and I was satisfied.
So you think, all of us are kind of.
I don't know. It just must be the millennial thing. Either that, or everyone I know is getting married. Well, everyone's married. I have no friends without kids. Is that true? Except for Alana. That's it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Now you know why I got bummed out with you. No, sorry.
I do like that in the rundown here you put leisure texting instead of lazy texting.
Well, it's at your leisure.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you did.
I'm gonna start putting a red alert on mine. Red alert! I need a response now.
No, I've had
what time is dinner?
It's true. I've had this discussion with a lot of people because I'm not very good at it.
You're not as bad as Luis.
I'm pretty honest though.
I chastise him all the time.
I'm usually like, the thing that you said I didn't feel warranted a response. Like it's no hard feelings. I'm not saying I'm mad you sent it to me. I'm just saying it didn't warrant a response. It's like saying bye. Like how many times do you have to say goodbye?
No.
You no longer have to say goodbye.
You're right. My sister is a last word texter.
Yeah.
And that it doesn't annoy me, but it's always like you can expect it. Like she'll say, "Hey, the crumble cookies this week are these," and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then she has to say, "Yeah." Yeah.
There's a guy I work with who has to be. He doesn't have to be. He just doesn't know how it works to say goodbye on Zoom. So I'll be like, "All right, thanks, man. See you later. Bye." And while I'm saying it, he's like, "Okay, bye. See ya. Bye. Bye. See ya. Bye."
As you're hanging up, and you're like, "Oh."
I'm like, just say, "I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya. Bye." Like that.
And then
click end.
bye is.
It's like maybe he's just trying to fill time while he finds the end button with his mouse.
That is tricky. You don't want to be the one on there. I've gotten stuck by accident on a call with someone that's chatty. I'm like,
or like a meeting, and the host stays on late to see who wasn't paying attention.
Right.
Like, why are you still on? Hey, why are you still on? Just do like a frozen face, like. Oh man, good old Zoom.
Oh, anyway,
UN report.
I just will just run through that real quick.
I heard it on the radio. I haven't read it, or even looked at the bullet points.
I got notifications from CNN and the Associated Press in the middle of the night about it.
I got the AP alert that there are certain things that are too far gone now in terms of climate change.
Right.
Yeah. I don't like it when they release these reports because you know what it does? It gives people excuses.
What do you mean?
Well, can't fix it now. Fuck it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
God'll save us.
God'll save us.
Yeah.
You know, it comes back to I gave you the tools to to not have this happen.
The problem is scientists speak in a way that's like, not much can be done about this one issue, but we can still do things about this. But the public only hears, oh, well, it's a lost cause.
I will say that driving home today and just recently when it's been, boiling hot outside and smoky,
smoke is
it's
bad.
just kind of like, I guess we're all doomed. This is life now.
No, if you're not in Utah and you're listening to this, just to give you an idea, I was driving home today. Sun was maybe 3 hours from setting, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I could look at the sun with my naked eye and see the circle of the sun perfectly, and it did not hurt my eyes. That's how thick the smoke was.
Right.
Is around our house.
No,
and I can actually smell it, too, which is kind of weird.
Yeah. It's gotten to my office on Friday. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was smoky in the halls.
It's bad. And
Gross.
I grew up here. I grew up in the Wasatch Front, on the Wasatch Front. I don't remember this.
I can remember one other time
summer
when the inversion was so
sure.
bad that it was like driving through fog, but it was pollution.
I should clarify. The inversion happens during winter when cold, nasty air gets trapped above hot air. Sure. I'm talking about smoke that has enveloped the entire valley.
The only other things is when there's a fire that's like 50 miles away and it starts raining ash on your car.
Sure.
That has happened before, but not to the...
We're only a half mile away from the mountain right now.
Normally, if it gets anywhere near this smoky, there is a fire in Salt Lake, like in one of the mountains in Park City, in Heber.
These
or something.
mountains a mile away from us,
or Pleasant Grove,
burned like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
and it wasn't this smoky though.
No, not even close.
It's crazy how it's
but
settled.
At least where you can like smell it.
Yes, it's definitely you can definitely smell it.
Even the meteorologist said it's really weird that we could still smell it. The
Right.
smell should have been gone. So I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah. Yeah, because they got multiple reports and they're like, you shouldn't be able to smell it. And it's possible that you're smelling like someone's controlled burn while it's smoky.
I guess 911 got inundated with calls on Friday.
Yeah, because they put out messages on Facebook like there are no fires.
Stop calling us. What if there was, though?
I don't know. They're like, no, I'm looking at it, I swear.
No,
Sir.
No, that's from California.
Sir, I'm going to have to...
How did they get away with calling it the Dixie Fire? They're going to have to rename it.
I don't know. That is kind of weird. Was it a town?
Probably.
Yeah.
I guess whoever shows up first can name it for whatever they want.
That's kind of cool.
Or, yeah.
Like whoever's, like the responding firefighters?
Yeah.
All right. I would name them all after me. Like George Foreman style.
Oh, my gosh. He's so weird.
This is the Bryan Fire. And then the next year, like, we got the Bryan Fire. And people are like, that's still burning? No, it's a different one.
Dixie Bootleg Goose, how wildfires get their names. There is now a specific set of guidelines.
Are they alphabetical in any
So
way?
the Dixie Fire is named for the road where it started.
Okay. It is weird how some things get names and other things don't. It's maybe it's the length that they last, because like tornadoes don't get named.
Oh no, that'd be too hard.
Well, but why?
Because they last like 3 seconds.
Yeah, but I know, but you could be like A1, A2, up to A10, and then go to B.
But then you'd have like there were 6 tornadoes today in Chicago. I mean,
yeah,
and they weren't even confirmed. So it's because you
but
can't.
Like we went through the whole alphabet with hurricanes.
Yeah, but you
last
can't
year.
always confirming a tornado is like the day after process, and I don't know. And they're so erratic. I don't know. But then
there are times when we talk about a tornado for a long time after
start naming thunderstorms, and like the freaking Weather Channel started naming blizzards.
Yeah,
no one really bought into that.
It's weird how I'm just saying it's weird as a society how we decide.
You know, the one that really bugged me was last year's, the campfire fire.
Come on, yeah,
it was
just call it the campfire.
Yeah, campfire fire.
If you put the emphasis on the right syllable, it makes sense. You know, if you say it's the campfire fire, that okay. If you say it's the campfire,
right,
then that makes more sense, right?
Yeah,
and it's just
the campfire.
It's the campfire.
Fire.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway, we're all doomed.
Hey, I found an article I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
This is actually kind of interesting.
Oh.
So, have you ever donated to a political action committee or a political campaign or anything like that?
No.
I've donated to.
Wait. I might have donated.
I've donated to one.
Whoever was against Mitch McConnell last year.
That's
I'm pretty
the one
sure I did.
That's the one I've donated to as well. If you remember right, on the page there are buttons you can click to, like, repeat your donation, monthly or weekly or blah, blah, blah. Turns out that the Republicans, sometimes Democrats, although Democrats stopped immediately, but Republicans and Trump especially were auto-checking 2 boxes that made your donation recurring weekly, and then one that was called the money bomb that would take a bunch of other money out.
Will they write your name on a bomb that they sent to the Taliban?
Yeah, I guess.
For only $2 million, we'll engrave your name on a bomb.
So in the first 6 months of this year, the Republican Party, Mr. Trump, and their shared accounts returned nearly $12.8 million.
Oh, I wonder what they did with that.
To people who...
Oh, they returned it.
They returned it. People who called and said, I did not see that box. I want my money back.
That's all they returned?
Yeah. So far this year, Trump has refunded 20% of his war chest that he has raised online this year.
Do you think he actually keeps it in a chest?
Yeah, I do. It's gold. So it's really, really interesting though, because now they're passing legislation that says you can't check it. Oh, I think this is it right here.
Oh, that's not going to pass.
Here it is right here. This is the boxes that were auto checked. Final month, need every patriot. See how it's all bold up here, and then right here, make this a weekly recurring donation.
Oh, bastards.
Yeah, and then here's the money bomb one. Bunch of bold text up here, and then donated additional 100 automatically on 10/9. So,
what the?
Yeah, it's messed up. Of the refunds issued this year, $8.1 million came from Mr. Trump's shared account with the RNC. An additional $2.2 million came from his re-election committee, and $2.5 million was issued by the party itself. So some Republicans are still holding on to this auto check. Democrats have moved away from it completely.
Well, it's
pretty interesting.
It's a freaking scam.
Yeah, because it's called WinRed is the processor for all Republican donations, and ActBlue is the one for all Democrat donations. But yeah, these boxes. Let me zoom back in on those. So you're going through the shit like, yeah, I'll give you $5. Fine. Next, right? And then these two boxes with giant bold that's like 10 lines long. You're like, I'm not going to read this shit. Are actually saying you're going to be donating a lot more.
We're going to be billing you forever.
Even if, let's say, look at this. Let's say you wanted to donate $100.
Right.
A lot of money for a lot of people, right? And then make this a weekly recurring donation.
I'd be pissed.
So by the time you notice, there's $800 out of your account.
Right.
And then they took another 100 the next month just because. Anyway.
Because you have to be a patriot.
Right. This is just the bullshit that politicians do to steal your money.
Downvote that.
I would totally downvote that. Anyway.
You know what we should do? We should do an insurrection.
I think you and I could start a pretty kick-ass pack.
Or a religion.
Yeah. And that's what we would call
both.
it, too. The kick-ass pack.
That's a terrible name.
I mean, they're all bad.
Why do we still have them?
Packs?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hate our
They're wrong.
government. Anyway.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah. Or do you just want to be done?
No,
How are you feeling?
You got some random headlines.
I don't, actually.
Do you want to just append the phone episode to the end of this one? How's the audio? It's not very good.
Actually, I've got some here.
We have done 115 episodes with random headlines.
You're right.
We can't.
How stupid would... No, that's not true. That's not true.
What do you mean?
You wouldn't shut the fuck up when Riley was here.
We didn't do random headlines when Riley was
we
here?
did not.
But we don't have a time limit, Spencer. If you felt like you had to cut them out, that's on you, sir.
I want McDonald's.
I didn't do that.
All right, we're taking a break.
All right.
Oh, crap. Where's my button?
We got random headlines.
I did. I found some.
All
I
right.
think.
Good. They're random.
Oh, that's the wrong. I just played the random headline music.
That's okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are we taking a break?
Yeah, we're taking a break.
Okay.
See you in a minute.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Welcome back to the last 30 seconds of the show. Glad we put a break in there.
Maybe.
I'm surprised you didn't say anything about my earrings. Did you not ever see them?
No.
They're not real.
Oh.
They're not real.
I'm just realizing that I had looked at them multiple times, but not even thought once about it. I think I thought they were.
Because they look.
I think my brain might have connected them to your headphones.
They look natural. I've actually really been thinking about getting earrings. These are just like weird magnets.
I don't know, man.
I don't really like. What's the big deal?
I don't know. I just don't like the way they look.
On me?
No. I especially hate gauges.
No, I wouldn't. I would never.
I don't
In fact,
understand.
see how big these are?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even go this big.
Yeah.
I would do a stud that's even
But
smaller than this.
I think if you are gonna do them, you got to do something similar to that. Studs are
Just
know, man.
a black stud like this. What do you mean? I
don't know. Just doesn't look.
You want me to do a ring?
Yeah, I
like
mean,
a dangle?
I'm sure you can get something like that just with a piercing. You don't have to drill a hole.
What are you talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about getting a piercing with a stud.
Yeah, sure. Just not a stud. Just do something like that.
It is a fucking stud. It's the same thing.
All right, whatever, man.
I think we're talking about the same thing.
All right.
I want to get something put in my ear that is not a big hole, but that has something like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's still a small hole.
Yeah.
But on the end is a bigger thing.
Well, when I introduce
not
you to my
gauged.
parents, I just don't want. No, I'm just joking.
You didn't even notice them. I thought for
No,
sure.
but the weird thing is I definitely did. So
But
they must really work for you.
You're
like
just like, well, Brian, that worked. I remember like the first time I wore glasses when I had to get glasses a couple years ago, and I walked into your house. You're like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" I'm like, "They're glasses, man. What is your problem?"
I think it's because of the headphones.
But I didn't have the headphones in.
I know, but from right now, this angle, it almost looks like the cord is coming out of.
I don't know.
That's so weird that I totally.
I like this look.
Looked at them, but I never.
I like this look. I'm a grown-ass man.
I think
I should be able to do it.
I've always maintained that I am too fat to really get tattoos or piercings or anything.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
Because anytime you see a fat guy with piercings, or
No.
you're just
Listen,
like,
you could get tattoos on your arms all day long. Let me see your ears.
What?
Let me see your ears.
What?
Turn. You could get those pierced. What's the big deal?
Because I don't want to.
But you just said you don't feel like you could because
No.
you're fat, but your ears aren't fat.
I just don't. I don't radiate cool enough to
dude.
make it look.
Whatever.
Make it look good.
You just gotta own it, man.
I don't know.
It's just style. Hey, speaking of style, you didn't talk about
What?
your new shirt.
Oh yeah.
The shirt of the week.
Yeah. So this is. Let's see. I don't even know if you can see it.
Oh, we can see it.
So this is a new Rejected Takeoff shirt, which is our band.
Here, let me angle this down a little bit.
What I've done here.
There we go.
Is made an illustration of the Rejected Takeoff knob on a 737. So before you take off, you take this dial here and you turn it to RTO.
Rejected takeoff.
Rejected takeoff. And that way, if you do rejected takeoffs, it automatically breaks the plane. Or not breaks the plane.
So you put it to that switch,
uh-huh.
And then is there another button you would hit to reject the takeoff?
No, you just reject it. You throttle down.
But what's the point of moving that switch down? Like it notices the throttle down, so it puts
Yeah.
the brakes on? Oh,
So
okay.
it'll start. I think it turns on the thrust reversers and anti-skid or something on the wheels.
Like anti-brake, like anti-lock.
Probably. Probably not. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Interesting. They call it anti-skid on.
But
planes.
normally, when you reject a takeoff, it depends. Well, it depends on the plane. But sometimes you can burn through your tires. If you do it like on a 747,
oh yeah,
you may have to
well,
go back to
if
the
they
gate
skid.
and replace the whole thing.
Right. If they skid, then they're gonna be all flat like
I know,
like a big wheel.
I know. Regardless of the airplane, you're gonna have to go. You can't just take off right away because your brakes are going to be
completely
red hot, like you just took them out of the kiln.
So do big jets have like disc brakes or shoe brakes?
They're disc.
They're disc brakes? Yeah. Really? I never really thought about it. I don't know why. Because I figured it's so much force that a disc brake on a wheel that small just wouldn't do much. But I guess it makes sense. I thought it was all like reverse thrust that
oh
stopped
no,
the
they
plane.
have brakes. No, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. In fact, I just got to do a simulator again, and
oh, you sent us a picture.
Oh, I see. It was a video.
The video, yeah.
Full on video of me landing and bragging to everyone because they thought I was too high, but I freaking nailed it.
Right. You should have said it was real.
I know Ethan asked.
He thought it was
real. If you suspend your imagination. I mean, it looks pretty real, and it definitely feels real. It's crazy.
Is this a different one than we talked about last week?
No.
Same one? Right.
I just got to do it again.
That's cool, man.
My boss came into town, and I was like, let's go. And he was like, all right.
I like it.
And he videoed it. And
that's what you should get a tattoo of.
He was not very good at it.
A simulation. Like like 3 screens and a dude.
Oh. It's actually not screens. It's mirrors.
Okay.
And there's projectors that go down to the mirrors.
Well, in the end, they look like screens.
That's true.
If you want to get mirrors tattooed and call them mirrors, that's fine.
But apparently replacing one of the mirrors is like $60,000 or something.
That's stupid.
I know, that's what I said.
That's a racket.
That is what I said. So the random headlines here are actually pretty random because I didn't really look for them at all.
I like it. This is my favorite way you do them. I don't like it when you spend a lot of time looking.
Well, I haven't in a long time. But this one seems kind of interesting. Do you remember, I think it was last year, gosh, the year's gone by fast, that a Super Mario game sold for $1.56 million.
That was just a few episodes ago.
Oh, wasn't? It had to have been last year sometime. I guess that was probably a few episodes ago.
It was July in 2021.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, the record has been broken.
Wow.
Yeah. Is it the same?
The Super Mario one was the guy who left it in his desk.
Did. I remember we did talk about it because we talked about things that might be worth.
It was just a few episodes ago.
Yeah. So there's a new one or a new record, and it's $2 million.
Okay.
I don't think it's for the same exact. It's not the.
Is it Super Mario?
Yeah. It's the same product, but I don't think it's the same exact item that. So they found another one, I guess.
Man. So it went up. It went up freaking 33%.
I guess it says sales of collectibles have surged since COVID-19 started.
Unopened copy of Super Mario Bros.
I never have anything that's worth anything. You know, you find something, you're like, oh, this has got to be worth something, and then it doesn't have the certain, stamp on it or something that makes it worth $2 million.
An anonymous buyer. If you spend $2 million on an unopened video game,
is it because you're embarrassed?
I don't think you should be allowed to be anonymous.
Yeah, but why would you be anonymous? Are you just like
maybe he doesn't want to get it stolen?
You don't want your relatives to
know? What
are
you gonna do with
it? Wait, if you don't want people to know that you have it, then what's the point of getting it?
Exactly. You're just gonna does he want to play it?
Just so the few people he invites over, so they can look at it on his
shadow box.
In his collection. I don't know, man.
I would buy it.
This guy's sketchy.
I would buy it and then open it at the auction and break it.
Probably because it's like some
pull a
Prince
Banksy,
in Saudi Arabia or something.
Pull a Banksy, and ruin it on site. Be like, I want to re-auction this.
Oh yeah. How would you have felt to be that winner and then?
Dude, I thought, how would you have felt to be the staff at the auction, like the two dudes who bring it out and hang it up,
right?
And they're like walking back out because now it's sold and it starts shredding. Imagine the sinking feeling that you would have that something you did caused this, right? Like, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Waste workers in Ohio fined $25,000 that apparently was accidentally thrown out. How do you throw away? Water collection workers in Ohio were able to reunite $25,000 with the family that accidentally threw it out while helping a grandmother clean her home.
So it was in Indiana where that little boy found $5,000 in the Suburban, right?
So the Midwest what is that?
It's the Midwest.
Is it?
Yeah.
But it's like pretty east.
Ohio might be considered east-ish, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's on Eastern time zone.
Yeah. So the waste company, I want to know where they were. Republic Services, a waste collection agency, received a frantic call from an unnamed customer claiming they lost something important. Okay, so they didn't find it. They got a call saying we lost something very important.
There's an envelope with $25,000. Don't. I have some cash in a secret location, but it's not $25,000, and I don't know that I would put $25,000 in a secret location.
Yeah, you would have to. I mean, you'd have to know, right? Like $25,000 is, what is that? That 200. That's 250 hundreds. Right? Am I doing that right?
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm doing that right.
Yeah.
That's quite the stack.
I'm sure.
That's a good 4-inch stack.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be. How do you didn't look in that when you throw it out?
You just pick up this envelope feels like it's full of
it's like
cash. It must just be coupons, though. Let's throw it away.
It's like almost like an evolutionary trait. If you pick up a thick envelope, you look inside.
Right.
Like,
oh,
it could be old receipts. It's still cool.
the team was able to contact the truck driver before he reached the landfill, so he could find. If you were that
Dude,
truck driver,
no. I'd be like, no, I already dumped that load.
yeah.
Already
I looked
dumped-
through everything. I couldn't find it.
I dumped that load like
Next
2
week
hours
you show up with a new like Honda or something.
No, they drive by your house like, did you dump your load on your lawn? No, man, it's a practical joke.
Yeah.
My neighbor.
Oh, these people are better than me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I would.
Maybe he's got GPS.
But I'd be pissed if I
they
didn't
call him.
have
They're
a-
like, hey, have you dumped that load? He's like, can you see my location? No, it's broken. We can't see it. No, yeah, I dumped it. It's totally dumped.
Man. Oh, we have a new Guinness Book of World Records.
Okay. A newer record.
A Wisconsin man who has held the Guinness World Record for lifetime Big Mac consumption.
Oh, gross.
Since 1999 has updated his latest total. Let's see, what was his old total? Let's see.
So how do you even keep track of that record?
I don't know. He's eaten 32,340 Big Macs.
How old is he? Or how old does he look?
I thought there was a picture of him. Oh, it's this guy? Gross.
32,300?
Yeah.
Okay, how old do you think he looks?
Like,
or does it say? Oh, since 1972.
I love hamburger like no other food. I have eaten
but there's
340 Big Macs
no
in my
offense to the Big
lifetime.
Mac, but
I'm closing in on 50 years next year of eating
50
them every day.
years.
This is a McDonald's
He eats
Big
them every
Mac. It's the
day.
best
That's
sandwich in the world.
646 a year.
he's
When
not
I
even
like
that
something,
fat.
I stick with it all the time. My habit right
Oh,
now
he's
is
got
just-
long
Did you
hair.
hear the number
That
I
would
just
be
said?
like 14
Huh?
a week.
That's 646 per year.
That's 2 a day then.
The obsession with Big Macs
That's
began because
unreal.
For one thing, my love of hamburger. May 17th, 1972.
He doesn't
was the
look
day
that
I got my
unhealthy.
first car. I drove to McDonald's.
You know, a
I'm-
Big Mac all by itself isn't actually like the worst food ever.
It's true. No, Big Macs are okay.
If that was like all you ate, I mean,
Twice a day.
And started
Like,
counting them from day one.
what, man?
This is 2006, 2007.
oh, he keeps all the. That's weird. He keeps all the boxes. He's got stacks of the boxes.
Come on.
I save the cartons.
Gross.
The thing is, I save all the receipts, and I also keep a running count on a calendar.
That's like his
This guy needs to see a therapist. He's got some OCD.
Dude, 2 Big Macs a day for your whole life.
I know that Guinness is trying to paint this as but this is not a happy story.
No, he's got to be like diagnosable.
No, not even his health. Just you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
like
This
mentally,
this
he's got to be
is,
diagnosable.
well, to have hair that long, you've got to be kind of. Oh, man.
my gosh, two per day. I don't. Oh man.
And not getting sick of them?
No, and they've changed over time.
What if?
Like a Big Mac in
What
72 is probably way better.
Oh yeah, for sure. They suck now.
Yeah.
They're fine. But anyway, what if one day you go in and you take a bite and you're like, what'd you do? What'd you do to the sauce? Like, this is standard procedure now. We got to go green with our sauce, so
Yeah.
we can't squish grasshoppers anymore for it. So we have to milk semen from. Anyway, it's
It's a long, involved process.
and he's like, I can't eat this. I can't eat this anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think he just dies?
I'm gonna switch to Whopper.
The Whopper is pretty good.
I'd rather have a Big Mac. I don't like Burger King's flame broiled.
No.
No.
I kind of like that taste.
It tastes like burnt.
But Burger King is kind of a crappy place. You know what? You know what's great is Arby's fries.
Arby's is
I
amazing.
talk crap on Arby's a lot.
I don't.
But
I think you do it just to.
They're
just
fried.
to
In
poke
fact,
me.
you know what? How late are they open?
I think you do it just to jab at me.
Because I may get some cheese sticks and fries on
Some
the way
mott
home.
sticks?
Yeah.
Let's look. I can look for you real quick.
Yeah, I could go for that.
Arby's is closing at 11. You got 15 minutes, bro.
Holy crap! Serious?
We better go.
All right. Well, that's did I do 3? I did 3, right?
Yeah, I think you did 3.
All right.
Well, since we have a raging Arby's habit,
I just want those
I've had
fries
32,000 regular roast beefs.
That's not possible.
It's true. Arby's hasn't even been around long enough.
I'm sure it has.
Yeah, maybe. 2 per day. Oh my gosh, I can't get over that. That's so gross. Remember Super Size Me?
You have to. I'm sure he must not have the fry. He must just have the hamburger.
Yeah, but remember how sick?
Yeah, I know.
What's his name?
No,
Jamie. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Spurlock.
Spermlock?
Spermlock. Yeah.
I don't know.
Spermcock is what his name is.
Oh, that's a terrible name.
Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for being here on the show.
Yeah.
We're about the 2-hour mark, which is
we are
far
actually,
too long.
Actually, wait.
Right?
Wait
for it.
Hold on, we got like 60 seconds.
Yeah, it's not going to work. Just play the music. Just cue the music.
Oh, sorry. You know, I knew I was forgetting something.
Join us next time when we discuss.
I closed the soundboard. I don't know when I did that.
Oh, it's probably when you hit the button, but
Oh.
Join us next time when we discuss other news and random headlines.
Tell your friends,
life
man.
Events.
You know.
Hey, our plays have been going up. So
good.
Thank you,
So
TikTok.
did
and thank you for telling people have been telling their friends.
So the 3 point, you do say we're up to 3.4 million
Look
now.
at that. People be telling their friends. Sooner or later, we'll put some ads in. Maybe we can start making some money.
And we can quit our jobs.
Yeah. And we can do it more often.
And move in together.
Yeah.
And have a family.
Right. All that. Anyway, thanks for being here. Find us at The Art Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or thearttakepodcast.com. For episode 116, I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.
Yeah.